It's always great to look to the future and see what games are interesting and pushing creativity. Do you remember the first time we saw Granblue Fantasy Relink or even Elden Ring? They definitely had a bunch of potential that paid off. And today we're taking a look at a game that is a while away, but conceptually it has the potential to be a ton of fun. This is Kemori, a cooperative action game from a studio called Unseen. If you aren't aware of this studio and the project, here's a little background for you. The studio is being headed by Akumi Nakamura, which some of you may know from her viral stage presence at various gaming shows like the Game Awards. After working on Ghostwire Tokyo's development, which she left halfway through, she returned to the Game Awards to announce a brand new game that was in the early stages of development. Kemori was announced as an action game that would be a blend of traditional Japanese folklore and modern culture, and the concept trailer was looking pretty amazing for this, as not only did it blend these two themes, it also was set in an urban setting with parkour and wall running. For the initial reveal, we did learn a bit about the gameplay. We as the players will take on the role of a yokai hunter, utilizing a tool called the Fox Window to uncover the mysteries of the city and restore balance to the world. As mentioned earlier, this is a cooperative game, but just like Monster Hunter, it looks like it can be played solo or in a group depending on your preference. As the developers have said, the game can be played alone or with friends, offering a thrilling adventure where players hunt yokai, collect their powers, and face greater challenges. Because the game is in its early stages of development, it doesn't actually have a release date or its platforms listed at the moment, but in a recent developer diary we got to see more of the game itself and what the developers are planning for it. A pillar of the game seems to be how it will be blending together the different themes of modern and old, fantasy and real. The developers have said the game is heavily influenced by dark fantasy, which personally I like the sound of. During the developer diary, they spoke about some of the gameplay mechanics that we'll be using, and one of the most integral things is the usage of the previously mentioned Fox Window, as it allows players to have a gateway into the world of the yokai and allows us as players to actually see these yokai. However, it does seem that there are some trade-offs to using this Fox Window, because it will alert the yokai to your presence, so when you use it you need to remain cautious and wait for the right time. As well as that, there are various snippets of in-engine footage, and some of these clips that stood out are the various ones that showcase the movement in the game and how we as players will dynamically hop over objects. The devs have said that for some of them, this is one of the most striking things that they've put a lot of effort into, both from a gameplay and animation perspective. Just in general, the animation in the in-engine footage looks pretty awesome, and we get to see the player executing a number of different attacks that all look pretty lively. Again, one that stood out to us in particular was this AoE spin attack that has a bunch of charm to it. One of the reasons for the animation being so expressive is that Unseen are opting to use keyframes for the animation rather than motion capture, which has been more of a norm for games recently. Of course, having really good movement and smooth animations is cool, but it's not going to be great if you just don't have anywhere to use it or it's just a flat level design. It would basically be wasted potential. But thankfully, Unseen are deeply thinking about this, as they've attempted to make the level design have lots of verticality so we as players can traverse around and have fun in this sort of virtual play space. The traversal system really reminds us of Sunset Overdrive, which by the way is a super underrated game, and in Kemori it looks like we'll be able to grind on cables high above the ground, wall run up vertical walls, and even grapple and swing using this device, which looks pretty cool. This is pretty much all of the information that we have about it so far, but like we said at the start of the video, the game looks like it has a ton of potential with a very cool concept of the world. The early prototype footage is looking awesome, and the dev team behind it looks like they're very passionate about this title. They've said that it will be some time before we will see more of the game and some proper gameplay, as they want to show gameplay when it's properly ready, and now they're entering a phase of development and play testing. We are pretty excited for this one, but do tell us what you guys are thinking about it down below. The devs have said it gives the vibes of the Dreamcast era of games, and I got that feeling too, which is actually a pretty good thing. In case you've missed it, here's the trailer for you to watch, and we've cut together all of the in-engine footage, so hopefully you can get a good gist of what this game's about.